Hello and welcome back. Today I am making a beer that's going to be kind of similar to another beer I've made before, but there was a request to make it extra crispy, so we're going to attempt to do that. So what I'm making is a ginger jasmine lager. To make it crispy, I'm going to do something that I usually don't do, and that is adjust my water. I did have my water tested by Ward Labs, so I know what my base is, and we're going to adjust to make it extra crispy, which is basically like add sulfates. To get the jasmine and ginger flavor, I'm using Olive Nation jasmine extract and ginger powder. You can find these below. I've actually used their other products before for my orange spice Christmas ale, and that was super good, so I think this is going to be awesome. Just to accentuate the flavor, we're going to do Hallertau Blanc, which is supposedly a lemongrassy kind of hop, and the malt is only going to be Pilsner, so it's just 9 pounds of Pilsner. I haven't measured anything, so let's get to it. I just got restocked with grain from Northern Brewer. Thank you guys so much. I really needed it, and I'm running on fumes. So I'm gonna do a 5.5 gallon batch, which is 20.8 liter batch. I've got 7.25 gallons of water in here with a Camden tablet. It sat overnight, and that is about 27.5 liters. I'm also going to add some lactic acid and some gypsum. So I was reading yesterday trying to get ready for this, and apparently if you have a low pH, you get a crispy flavor, and if you have sulfates, you have a crispy flavor. So we're gonna do both. I feel like I should do my water additions first. Okay, so we are doing 7 milliliters of lactic acid, and this will get us down to a pH of like 5.2 something. 5.3. Okay, there's 5. And 2. And now we're gonna add 5 grams of gypsum. Ta-da! And gypsum is just chalk. Okay, now that our water additions are out of the way, let's measure our grain. We just hit strike temp, which is about 160 degrees. On my sheet it says it's 157 degrees, which is 69 degrees Fahrenheit, but whatever. So 9 pounds or 4 kilograms of pills. I'm gonna run it through again. All right, let's mash in. My screen's already in here. I'm gonna turn my heat down to 152, which is our mash temp, which is 66.7 degrees Celsius. I gotta tell you guys, yesterday I was on the phone with my mom, and I sent her an Inkbird controller. You know, the kind you use for like keezers and stuff? That's just got the like refrigerator plug-in and the heat plug-in, but I got her one for her greenhouse so that she can run a heater in there when it hits a certain temperature. But she was saying that it was stuck on Celsius. I'm going next week, so I'm gonna fix it for her. But doing this brewing and telling you guys what the Celsius is actually like gave me a leg to stand on when I was like, oh yeah, I know that like 20 degrees Celsius is like 65 degrees or 68 degrees Fahrenheit or something close to that. Anyway, felt cool. Okay, I'm going to set a timer for an hour, and I will come back here and then the mash will be done. All right, our hour and some change is up because I was walking the dog, but we are ready to pull this mash. Of course, when I was on the walk, I was like, oh my gosh, did I actually turn it down to 152 or did I leave it at 160? I did turn it down, so. My brain is working to some degree. All right, just letting this drain a bit before I take my pre-boil gravity reading. For my refractometer readings, I've started just taking a piece of tubing and kind of using it like a straw to suck it out. Cause like I'm tired of getting my hands hot, mainly. Of course you gotta get it, oop, and there's my tube, it's gone. Okay, bye tube. Let's try another one. Problem is getting one that's long enough to go all the way down this kettle. All right, so we'll let that sit. I'm gonna fish out my other tube that's in there. By the way, these really long tongs, very helpful for retrieving things out of the kettle. Very helpful. Okay, so our pre-boil gravity is looking like 11.2 bricks, which is, I don't know, because I don't have that chart in my brain. Fortunately, Brewfather has it in their toolbox. So that means our pre-boil gravity is 1.047. I just recently reorganized all the drawers that you guys never see back here. They were a nightmare before, but I'll show you how great they are now. 1.04, I already forgot, 7. And what was it supposed to be? I don't know. Oh, here, 1.043 was what it was supposed to be. So we're a little high, but actually I was not expecting that because my efficiency is set at 80%. Which seemed high to me, but I don't know. What's our volume? Our volume is like 6 3/4. And it's supposed to be right about there. So we're just like a little high, like 0.004 high. How organized. This is what happens when an ADHD person has a moment of non-ADHD. All right, well, I'm gonna turn up my heat to a boil. If I can remember how to do such a thing. Let's get our hop additions ready. So I'm gonna do 1 ounce of Hallertau Blanc at the 15-minute mark. So after it's already boiled for 45 minutes, we throw them in at the last 15. That's what the 15-minute mark means. Only saying this because I did have someone text me about this the other day and ask. So there's your refresher. Okay, so we need 1 ounce of this stuff. This is a 9% alpha acid hop. So in my Arrogant Bastard clone recipe, you can see how to convert alpha acid. Say if you have like a blend that's like 7% alpha acid, you can convert it. There's a formula for it, and there's a calculator online, which is the best part because then you don't have to do math. So these are our hops going in at the 15-minute mark. They are super green. This is a 2017 variety, and it is so green. See that? That's nuts. All right, so now all we got to do is wait. Our flavors are going to go in at the very end. So I'm gonna put in the powder at flame out, so it's still hot, still has like a lot of mixing abilities, and it'll kind of extract with the heat. But the extract I'm going to put in the fermenter because I don't want to lose all of the beautiful like aroma compounds. I actually took some of this jasmine extract, dipped a toothpick in it, and put it in my tea yesterday, and it is remarkably delicious. So I have high hopes for this. All right, I will see you guys at the 15-minute mark. All right, so our 45 minutes of boiling is up, and we're gonna add our 1 ounce or 26 grams of Flora Blanc. Put it right in my hop screen, and I'm also gonna add a Werflock tablet to kind of clarify it since this is a lager. Did I mention it's a lager? All right, so I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back, add our ginger powder, chill it down, and then pitch our yeast and our jasmine extract from Olive Nation, and that's it. All right, our 15 minutes is up. I'm gonna turn off my heat. I still need to measure out my ginger powder. We are using 1/2 ounce or 16 grams. Seems low, but I've heard that using more is like a bit much, so we're gonna go for it. All right, there's 1/2 ounce. I'm gonna toss it right in the middle. Gonna throw this guy over the edge so that we can start chilling. My chiller is hooked up. Actually, I'm gonna drain. There's clean water in here. All right. So turning on my pump, I'm gonna go turn on my water. This smells amazing. It smells like, kind of like ginger ale, honestly. It really smells like ginger ale. All right, so while that's chilling, I'm going to re-sanitize my fermenter. It's already been cleaned and whatnot. Here is my yeast. I'm actually not going to pitch my yeast until I can get it down to about 50 degrees. So that's gonna take a combination of both glycol, chilling this all the way down, and running the heat exchanger in the fermenter. I'm gonna try to get my yeast to kind of settle. It's starting to, and then I'll pitch it. So I'm pitching at below fermentation temperature. We're making a lager, so my fermentation temperature is going to be about 55 degrees Fahrenheit or about 13 Celsius. I'm going to do that for 2 weeks, and then, well, I'm going to try to. I'm going to keep it running. It's been cooler here, but it still gets up to 80s during the day. And then after the 2 weeks, I'm gonna go to 65 for 5 days, and that's 18.3 degrees Celsius. And then I'm gonna throw it in a keg and cold crash the hell out of it. Oh, and this is Safale 189. It's a Swedish lager yeast. It's supposed to be super clean, pretty nondescript, and should give us a nice crispy boy. I'm gonna sanitize this and just, actually no, that won't work. I'm gonna sanitize this and try to get a sample. That worked. So let's see what our original gravity is. So our original gravity looks like 12.3 bricks. So we're at 1.051. Our original gravity was supposed to be 1.048, so we kept with the about 3 over, 4 over situation. So that means we'll get about a 5.5% beer. Okay, so now I am going to just spray this down. Close it up. I've already got my spunding valve and my PRV on there. I'm going to put this little brew jacket inside this foam and also connect this heat exchanger, and hopefully we can get it down to 50. We'll see.